Hi everybody, it's Dave from Wing Chun Mind Force. This episode, the second of my Bil Jee series, I'm just going to talk a bit about the anatomy of Biu Jee and why Biu Jee is different to Nim Tau and Sigung Chu. As we've talked about before, Nim Tau is cultivating the mind state connected to the body that produces the state of sung, fong sung, become sung, which is softness. It's also about establishing your body as an immovable rock, like a mountain, and so that force coming in and force going out ideally doesn't affect you, or doesn't affect you much. In Sigung Chu, we start to move that rock. Obviously everything that comes in just goes to the center, everything goes out comes from the center, because everything's coming from a unified mass. You become a single unified mass, and I actually think of my body mainly as a jointless thing. Not that we don't have joints, but I don't think we have to think about them. We can naturally use them. If you're in that soft state of sung, they just work. And in Sigung Chu, we're pivoting, we're stepping, we're using that mass, that unified mass, as the power source. Now all these forms are all still Nim Tau, because that initial state that we work on, we never stop working on that. So even if you get to the point of learning the pole, if you become significantly good at Wing Chun, you'll still be cultivating a better Nim Tau state. So when we come to Biu Jee, the last of the empty-handed forms, what's the difference? What's really changed? Well, the thing that's changed is that you're using more of your body's potential now. If your teacher is allowing you to learn and apply Biu Jee, then you'll be really good at linking top to bottom, the whole torso as one thing, being able to turn that. If people put pressure on your shoulders or out in your arms, you can turn as one thing, you can step as one thing. So now in Biu Jee, we free up our spine to twist. And so as you do in normal life, when you're not doing kung fu, everyone can do this, just twisting. And one of the exercises that I use to strengthen my own spine and the muscles around it, and which I get a few of my students who are ready to do Wing Chun, ready to do Biu Jee, just get any pole. This is my Kwun broom. It's got a Japanese jo, actually a very solid wood, with the broomstick on it, and you just twist. Don't push yourself too hard, but just do this every day and twist your spine. And as you're doing that, keep the connection top to bottom, that feeling of a center line going through. You're turning around that line. Do that to just help your actual physical body to strengthen. It is important, as much as we say just let go and use the mind, but the state of your body is important. I'll talk more about this in a future video soon, about things like weight training, TRX, running, push-ups, sit-ups, all that sort of stuff, why it's useful in Wing Chun. But this twisting obviously is an extra speed. It's like a vortex. It spins and twists at the same time. The other thing that happens, and this is something that most people aren't aware of because they don't study anatomy, is that when this is my little skeleton, when we're doing still Nim Tau, we're just standing there like this and just the arms are moving. So, Sigung Chu, we start to move with all this connected. But in Biu Jee, not only does the spine twist, but there's a joint here and here that most people are not aware of. It's the clavicle. It's a sterno-clavicle joint. It's cartilage, and it's got a little bump like that, and it fits into a little divot in the sternum, which is this bone here. And when you lift your shoulder like that, you're using that little joint. And you pull your shoulder back, forward, shoulders around, pardon me. That's the joint, that little joint there and there. That's getting used. Now that makes a difference. So in the first movements in Biu Jee, we're doing this, and it's not just the arms moving from the shoulder, they're actually moving from there. So it's an extra joint. It's quite incredible when you think about this. You've got an extra joint that's moving there, and you're being released. Now most teachers keep people with a really sort of relaxed, locked body, which is what you should do, right through Sigung Chu. You don't want people lifting their shoulders, moving their shoulders around. You want to just mentally keep it all solid. But when you're ready for Biu Jee, you're starting to get liberated, and you have this sense, this confidence in the mind-body state that you can feel that it's not going to hurt you, that you've got great power in everything you do because you're always relaxed, and you go into that state which you can feel, the Nim Tau mind state. You can feel that making everything springy and strong and filling it with energy, and this is something that grows and grows with time. So yeah, that's the extra joint. And just skipping forward a bit, when we get into the knives and the pole, the knives especially, they're the same length as fingertip to elbow, and when you're holding them it becomes like another joint. So Wing Chun's giving us extra joints. We've got this joint here, and then with the knives we've got another joint, so our force is expressed into there. That's another video. The other thing we're doing in Biu Jee for the first time in our Wing Chun practice, we're actually bending. So at the end of the Biu Jee form, we'll bend forward and we come up. Now, once again, it's not rocket science. Everybody's been doing that since they're a kid. But in further videos in this series, I'll show you ways to get somebody to test you, test others, to get that same effortless force going into the spine as it rises up, as it comes down. Now, if you think about this logically, you're twisting, you're using this joint up here, but also there's no reason why you can't be twisting down, twisting up, really liberated. Right, and this is where we get into that area where this is how Wing Chun people fight, like a robot, right? That's not Wing Chun, that's beginner's Wing Chun. That's not how you're supposed to fight. The forms are not exactly how you're supposed to fight. They are, but they aren't. They're teaching you a theory of force and a way of liberating this power in your body where you can really do anything. You can box, do Thai boxing, do Jeet Kune Do, whatever you want. I'm not saying you should though, because Wing Chun has everything you need, but it's just saying you are liberated, my friend, you are free, you're off the chain. My friend Tony Saylor once said, Nim Tau is the beast caged, Chum Q is the beast uncaged. And of course that even more applies to Biu Jee, and Biu Jee sort of just is an obvious flow on from Chum Q, but people see Nim Tau and they think, oh, that's what it is, Wing Chun is just like this. But no, that's beginner stuff. It's because people don't tend to stick at it long enough to learn all this stuff. But yeah, you become liberated, so you can, the same sort of effortless force, you want to be able to do it from any position, anything you do. Alright, so the last thing I wanted to do was just talk about Sigung's video. I'm putting a link down below. There's a number of great videos of Sigung Chu doing Biu Jee and the other forms, but I'll link to the one was filmed at my old school, HCH Wing Chun with Susanna Ho, Sifu Susanna, that Sigung did about 20 years ago, 23 years ago. It's always good to go back to the old masters and see how they did it. Unfortunately, we haven't got a video of Yip Man doing Biu Jee. We've got Nim Tau, Chum Q, the dummy, which is really priceless. But if you have a look at that video, just watch him do it. I will go through the form in the next couple of videos, but I want to I just wanted to pass on those initial ideas. It's really something for you to think about what I've just talked about, and I want you to look at Sigung Chu doing the form and start to memorize the form. Start to think about all the movements that are going on. And as I've said in other videos, FIND, he who seeks shall find. Fong Sung, intent, Nim Tau and dance. Those principles apply to all the forms, so you want it, when you do this form, it wants to be like a dance, effortless, light, graceful, elegant, soft, fast, using that mindset, the Nim Tau mind state, with intent, putting the yi, the intent, into your palms and fingertips. I mentioned that in the last video from Sigung Chu, as he says in his book, the Book of Wing Chun Volume 1. And Fong Sung, let go of tension, just be there, empty, natural, light, soft. Okay, so in the next video I'll start to break down the form and talk about the principles that are going on and the ideas you can use in your practice. I'm going to leave with one interesting thing. I've talked before also about these old shoes. I really believe in these shoes. I believe that there's a point to practicing in these slippery shoes, these cotton sole shoes on a nice shiny floor. So it's like you're on ice or on air, you're just floating. You want to get that feeling. It's a really important thing. It also requires you to have perfect balance, otherwise you fall over. Now the only thing about these shoes, anyone who's worn them enough knows that they get very floppy and they wear out pretty quick. And I just had one of those brainwaves the other day. I can't buy new shoes at the moment. My Aussie people that I buy them off can't get them from China, and I can't get them from China. So I ripped out all the old manky stuffing and cloth, and I put one of these in. This is you buy them from Kiwi. It's a New Zealand Aussie company, and they're $3 for a packet with a left and a right. You just cut them to size, And I've always hated the way these things flop, because you're really into your form. Next thing the thing's flopped under your heel and it's sort of there. It's like, oh, it's annoying. And especially if you're kicking and the shoe flies off. So the other day I put some masking tape in here, and then I was just thinking about these things, and I thought, well, it's really easy to cut. I could just cut that up and sew it in. So I did that today, and hey presto, I've got new old shoes. So you can see I've just, with my very precise sew-manship, I've just sewn that in, but it's bloody great, and that can't flop down anymore. It's got a cloth covering, so it's comfortable. Yeah, so that's the go. Did I show you that? Oh, I think I did, yes. From Coles in Australia. I'm sure there's such things all over the world. Anyway, thanks again, guys. When I say guys, I mean boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, whatever you call yourself. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.